Hi, my name is Eliza, and I swear I'm not making this up. When I got accepted into Greystone University, my dream school, it was supposed to be the start of everything. I'd worked for years to get there. Study groups, tutoring jobs, zero social life, all worth it. Until 2 weeks before move-in day, something weird happened. My acceptance got revoked. The reason? Apparently, I never showed up for orientation. But I did. Or at least, I thought I did. That's when I started putting things together. Suspicious emails. A few blurry photos on the student portal. All of them showed me, but they weren't me. They were my mom. Yup. My actual mother somehow faked her way into my spot at college. And the craziest part? She was nailing it. Professors loved her. She made friends. She was even dating some guy in the philosophy department. Meanwhile, I was stuck at home, pretending everything was fine. But trust me, I wasn't about to let this slide. I wanted to believe it was a misunderstanding. That maybe the school had messed up their records, or my mom had just shown up to ask questions. But then I saw it. A student ID. Her face. My name. She'd enrolled using my information, faked a few documents, and convinced the school that she, a 40-something woman, was just a non-traditional freshman. She even dyed her hair to look more like me. I couldn't believe it. Who does that to their own daughter? When I confronted her, she didn't even flinch. She just said, "You'll have other chances, Eliza. This one's mine." Her eyes, ice cold. She told me that she'd always wanted to go to college, that raising me had gotten in the way of her dreams. And now that I'd done all the work, she figured she could borrow my life, just for a little while. She called it a second chance. I called it what it was, theft. But if she thought I was going to just sit at home and let her play college student, she had no idea who she was messing with. I tried going to the admissions office, tried showing them my ID, my transcripts, even my social media accounts. They nodded, smiled, took notes, and then they said, "We'll look into it." That was it. Meanwhile, she was out there, making friends, joining clubs, even flirting with my crush from orientation. People loved her. They thought she was quirky, bold, a little weird maybe, but fun. They had no clue she was old enough to be their mom. And every time I saw her walking across campus in my hoodie, carrying my backpack, something in me snapped a little more. So I did the only thing I could think of. I started documenting everything. Photos, videos, voice memos, proof. I wasn't just going to expose her. I was going to make sure no one ever forgot what she did. Because this wasn't just about college anymore. This was war. The first video I posted got 43 views. 43. One of them was me. 5 times. But I didn't stop. I made more. Clips comparing her handwriting to mine. Her ID to mine. Even a slow-mo shot of her calling herself Maddie when she thought no one was listening. It started small. Then someone shared it on campus. Then a classmate DM'd me. "Wait! She's your MOM." That was it. The algorithm woke up. By the end of the week, the video had over 120,000 views. The comments were wild. "Bro, this is like a real-life Netflix show. No way she pulled off a Parent Trap IRL skull. Is this legal?" Suddenly, I wasn't invisible anymore. People wanted the truth. And I was going to give it to them, raw, unfiltered, and with receipts. But what I didn't expect was for her to clap back. She made a video too. And in it, she wasn't denying anything. She was justifying it. I clicked play, thinking I'd watch her squirm. Instead, she owned it. She looked straight into the camera and said, "Yes, I pretended to be Maddie. But before you judge me, let me ask you something. If someone handed you a better life, would you say no?" She spun the whole thing. She talked about growing up in shelters, bouncing between foster homes, always being told she'd never be anything. She said I had everything, a loving mom, a future, a real bed, and I didn't even want it. She made people feel sorry for her. And the worst part, she was good at it. The video went even more viral than mine. By the end of the day, #LetHerStay was trending. People weren't calling her a fraud anymore. They were calling me a spoiled brat, privileged, bitter, a hater. I was losing. Fast. And deep down, a tiny, awful part of me wondered, was she right? I thought, okay, If people are buying her sob story, I'll just show them the truth. So I dug. Old messages, screenshots, voice notes, even a journal I found from before she started being me. I made a full expose. A video titled, "The Real Fake Maddie, What She's Not Telling You." I uploaded it with shaking hands. And for a second it worked. The views shot up. People were shocked. Some were angry again at her this time. But then, the comments started turning. "This feels petty. You already got your life back. Why are you still going after her? Why are you so obsessed with her?" And the worst one, "This is giving jealous energy." I couldn't believe it. I had proof. Real proof. But all people saw was me attacking someone they'd already forgiven. It wasn't a truth bomb. It was a PR disaster. After the video, everything changed, but not in the way I'd hoped. People didn't just stop trusting her. They stopped trusting me. Even my closest friends, the ones who were there for me through the identity theft and the chaos, started acting weird. One by one, they pulled away. "I think you need time to heal. Maybe it's best to just move on. You're starting to sound like her." It was like I'd become the villain in my own story. My DMs, ghost town, my group chat, dead. Even my parents told me to focus on the future. But how could I? She stole my name, my voice, my life. And now, I was the one being erased. I felt like I was screaming underwater, and no one even noticed. There was one place I never thought I'd go back to. The lake. It used to be my favorite spot, quiet, hidden, untouched by everything that had happened. But that night, it felt different. Not peaceful. Heavy. Like all the silence was pressing down on me. I stood at the edge for a long time, thinking. Not about revenge. Not about her. Just disappearing. Would anyone even notice? And then my phone buzzed. One message. From someone I never expected to hear from again. "If you're reading this, I'm sorry. I didn't know what she was doing. Please don't do anything stupid. I still believe you." That was all it took. I fell to my knees, phone shaking in my hand. I was still here. I was still me. And that meant something. The next day, I walked into school with my head held higher. Not because everything was fine. It wasn't. But because I wasn't hiding anymore. People stared. Whispered. Some still believed her version of a story. That I was jealous. That I made it all up. But then a miracle. One of the teachers, Mr. Caldwell, called me into his office. He looked nervous. Sweating. He slid an envelope across the desk. "I shouldn't be doing this," he said. "But you deserve to know the truth." Inside, screenshots, messages, photos, proof that everything I'd been saying was real. And even worse, it showed just how many people had known and stayed quiet. By the next morning, the entire school had seen the screenshots. Some people apologized. Others just stayed quiet, like nothing had happened, maybe out of guilt, or maybe because pretending is easier. But she doubled down, claimed it was all edited, fake, said I was the liar, trying to ruin her life. But something had changed. This time, no one laughed with her. Her words fell flat. The power she held over everyone. It was slipping. And for the first time, I didn't feel like the crazy one anymore. I wasn't the outcast. I was just a girl who finally got tired of being silent. I didn't plan to talk to her. But when I walked past the drama room after school, she was there. Alone. Crying. She didn't see me at first. And maybe the old me would have just walked away. But I stepped inside. She looked up, startled. Eyes red, makeup smudged. "What? You here to gloat?" I didn't say anything. Just sat down beside her. We were silent for a while. Then she said something I'll never forget. "I don't know who I am if I'm not the one everyone fears." That's when I realized. She wasn't a monster. Just someone who got lost in playing one. I didn't forgive her. Not yet. But I understood. And maybe, sometimes, that's the first step. The school never found out the full story. Not the part where I almost became just like her. Not the part where we both stood in that drama room, realizing how far we'd fallen. But something did change. I auditioned for the play again. Not for the lead. Just to be part of it. And when I stepped on that stage, I didn't care who was watching. For the first time in forever, I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was just me. After the show, My mom hugged me tighter than she had in months. Even my little brother looked impressed, which is saying something. And her, she clapped, from the back row. Alone. We didn't speak that night. But that one small gesture said enough. Some stories don't end with apologies. Some just end with understanding and a quiet start to something better. And just like that, the curtain falls. If you felt anything watching this, a lump in your throat, a spark of déjà vu, or maybe the urge to clap alone from the back row, give this video a like. Share your story in the comments, we see you. And subscribe to Ruby's Secret Files for more bittersweet truths, messy choices, and characters who feel a little too real. Because sometimes, the most powerful stories aren't about winning. They're about showing up anyway.